So it was a random story how I met two of my best friends. One is Muslim and the other one's Hindu. And so I didn't know either of them, coming into college. And basically I needed a roommate. And it was like this random story where I knew a girl kind of who knew this girl kind of, and we all ended up living together. And so I just think it's the most amazing story about how you don't expect it, but God works these people into your life that completely changes your life. I started meeting them, and it was my first exposure really to other religions besides just, the classes that I've taken or the internet or things like that. So yeah, my first exposure to meeting someone that wasn't a Christian and to having a religion that's completely different than mine, being able to meet people where they're at and forming relationships with people in order to talk to them about Christ or to show Christ through you. I think the main thing is being relational and meeting people where they're at. And so it wasn't so straightforward. It wasn't like, let me tell you about Jesus, let me sit you down, let me tell you about Jesus. It was like having spiritual conversations. So saying what do you believe? Or just being do you believe in creation? How do you think we got here? Things like that, where it starts, or what about forgiveness? Do you believe in forgiveness? And because I think that all spiritual conversation is good conversation because, it gets the wheels turning. It starts to make you think about what you believe. To have an even playing field, I guess, where we're both sharing, not just where you're sharing and then the other person doesn't get to share. So having an even playing field in that way, because you can learn so much from other people. The other thing is embracing cultures. That's one really, really great thing about, having roommates from different cultures is I learned so much about their cultures. And for Ramadan, we fasted one day and it was really cool. I fasted for Jesus, which I don't know, just learning that Jesus isn't defined by culture is one of my biggest takeaways in college is that lesson. And I think that that's a very biblical thing too, because throughout the Bible, Jesus is talking to people from all different cultures. And then in Revelations, there's people from every nation. Yeah, the main thing about how to love someone that isn't Christian is to have a relationship with them, I think is the main thing. Showing them that you're their friend, that you're there for them, being interested in what they have to say, I think is huge. Showing them that their opinions are important, that, their thoughts are important, and then asking them about, what do you believe? Tell me about that, being genuinely interested. And you can tell, if someone is genuinely interested. So really wanting to know their stories and see things from their perspective. And then when you open up that window for discussion, that's where you both can have discussions about what you believe. And yeah, and then offering to, saying having, comfort, offering words of comfort. I think my senior year, I faced a ton of rejection, just in all areas of life. And that was kind of my first time dealing with that too, is that rejection and feeling hurt and not wanted, I guess. But then how God showed up for me was through my friends that supported me. My leaders in my Bible study too, I worked with such amazing women. Having their support was incredible. And then also just through words of comfort that I would hear from him. When you're at your lowest, it's almost you can feel his presence, I guess. And so, feeling his presence and hearing these words of comfort from him, I think that words that are you are loved, you are worthy, there's a plan for you, you're my daughter, things like that. One main thing is get connected and find community is because it's so easy to go astray. The world is showing you a completely different path. And so, yeah, getting connected, finding a good church or a good group that you can meet with other Christians so you can talk about Jesus I think that was hugely like influential in my college experience. So having this excitement for meeting non-Christians, like that is such an exciting thing. Just being able to be a light. And there is something different about Christianity. Like there's a reason that Christians act different and have that spirit of Jesus. It's different and people notice. And so, yeah, showing that light within you is big. Don't be afraid to dive into your faith because it's a huge time for growth. And then also like college is really hard too. I mean, it's so fun. And now I'm realizing that the real world is like a little bit harder, but yeah, college is hard. So like relying on God, and then also realizing that when you make mistakes or when things don't go wrong, when you're rejected, you know, Jesus is still there for you. He still wants to have a relationship with you. He still loves you. There's nothing that you can do to separate yourself from him.